Well, this week we've been on a hostage roller coaster. Well, have been. We still are on a roller coaster. Are they coming home? Are they not coming home? Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Thank you guys so much for everything you guys do. It is still so exciting. I still feel like it's the first time where we finally had this place and was able to pass out the food. It's just such a blessing to be able to help so many people because of you guys. And like we figured out that having this place has allowed us to grow, and we've added more and more families because of you guys and your support and your love for the people here, for the nation of Israel, for God's people. So thank you for everything. God bless you all for all of it. It is such an amazing miracle to be a part of. Thank you so much. If you haven't and you want to, there are links below all of our videos to the Patreon page or to the Support Us page. Or you can just go to your web browser and type in thegoldenreport.com and go to the Support Us page and find whichever way is easiest for you. While you're down there in the links, don't forget to check out the
Telegram channel.
Telegram TGR News.
Yeah, we're going to inform you real time on current events that's going on in Israel as it goes right away.
We're going to be talking now about this hostage deal, which we still don't know if it's on or not.
Yes.
So if you did link into the TGR News Telegram, you would know exactly what's going on as it happens.
Yes.
When the deal's on, when it's off, or hopefully when we have finally hostages coming home.
Yeah, well, this week it was kind of confusing if you were on the Telegram channel too.
Yeah.
We'll talk exactly about.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, hostages are coming home, it looks like. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, yes.
Yes. We have some more hostages coming home soon. Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully. Yeah, well, let's just go through it. At the beginning of the week, we had heard talks about the hostages coming home. To be honest, we heard many talks about the hostages coming home before without anything happening, especially no hostages been coming home in over a year and 3 months now. It's
15 months, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But then we started hearing things like the hospitals were getting told to get ready. So it was looking good because, it was a great way to put it. Yeah, it was getting serious. It was like, wait a minute, this might be actually happening, right?
Yeah.
And then as the week developed, we found out it was more and more. This time was a lot more serious. That looked like we was going to get our hostages. So at least some of our hostages back.
Yeah, and just last day was nervous wreck for me, but most of the people who were on Telegram too. It's just like, yes, we still don't, Hamas, of course. Israel was silent, but Hamas said yes, and then Hamas said no. And even today, Thursday, even after Qatar was announcing this deal being signed and everything, still we have some problems today, Thursday, that Hamas...
let's just look at the last 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours ago, we had a deal.
Yes.
And then we didn't have a deal. And now we're back on with the deal. That's in the past hour and a half.
It's all psychological war, psychological terror that Hamas doing, and the whole country and the whole world actually waiting and don't know what to expect from Hamas.
That's right.
And even I have to be honest, it's gonna continue that way because we will talk about exactly the terms about the hostage deal, but not all the hostages released in one day. They do like dripping, like
it's not
day.
like a dream deal for
every
sure.
day from the last time the hostages were released, we know that every day it was a nervous wreck because we didn't know what's going to happen. Then Hamas say
no. Once a week.
Yes,
yeah.
And Hamas say no, we're not going to release because Israel did this and this and actually break the ceasefire. Every day they did this to us. Poor families.
So what are they going to do every week? Yeah,
exactly.
And you brought up something about how Qatar made the first announcement about the hostage deal.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys paid attention, but it was quite interesting to see as the deal was coming together and as the deal was being made, who was the timeline of who goes first. All the world leaders allowing who goes first to say we made a deal. Yeah. Qatar was number one. They were the first ones out. that was probably also part of the deal.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But then guess who was right next to Qatar? That was Biden.
Yeah.
And then it was our president Herzog. I tell you who you didn't see though.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
You didn't see Netanyahu stand up after all those people and make him.
No. No.
Yeah, because he knew. Like today, he knew that's very well. Let's get into it today. The reason why they didn't. It was almost off. Well, it was off for a while. Now it looks like it's still back on. Once again, stay with the TGR telegram to keep up to date to know when it actually happens. Supposedly Sunday we have our first 3 hostages if the deal is still on. So today, the reason it was almost off is because all of a sudden Hamas says to Israel, to Netanyahu, that they want to make the list of who the terrorists are that they release. And so that wasn't part of the deal from the beginning.
We cannot veto that. That's what they say.
Yeah.
We cannot veto
that. Yeah, they
that.
can just pick whoever they want, you know. By the way, let's get into the details and then we'll talk about that a little more. You want to tell the details?
Yeah, I'll do it. So we have a deal, and the deal is 33 hostages in 42 days of ceasefire. On Sunday, we will receive 3 hostages already, probably females or older or humanitarian. That's what,
3 hostages.
3 hostages. And then 7 days later, 4 more hostages. Then after that, 3 hostages every week. This will be, as we said, children, women, elderly, and female soldiers, and sick people, humanitarian people.
Right.
Which I think they're all humanitarian, right? But
when you say humanitarian people, that's not how you say. What she means is people who have like or have some sort of like medical problem and they need medical assistance and anything like that.
Which they all.
Yes.
But let's leave it alone. So the IDF will be pulling out slowly as each week goes by, and we have more hostages back. After the 16th day of ceasefire, we will negotiate the next steps. Do you want to talk about the next step? We still don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Well, of course, Israel will be giving terrorists that will, throughout this whole thing that are in prison over 1,000. I think 1,027 terrorists for 33 of our hostages, right? And these terrorists will be either sent to Gaza or abroad. They're not going to be released into Judea and Samaria, supposedly. And another thing is important to add is that the IDF stays in Gaza, never leaves Gaza. But Netanyahu promised that they would not leave completely Gaza. And there's no way the IDF would completely leave Gaza until we have all of our hostages
98.
back. Yeah.
So main thing, important thing to say, interesting, you said the number of 1,027. I'm not sure it's 1,027, but you remember this number because the Gilad Shalit deal was exactly 1,027.
But it was over 1,000.
It's going to be over 1,000.
Yeah, we know it's going to be over 1,000. That's right. Yes. You're absolutely correct.
Now, the second thing is some of the terrorists will be released to Judea and Samaria. So the deal will be like that. Most of the terrorists that will be released, they will be terrorists who didn't murder Jews. They were arrested for other things. For example, attempt to murder Jews or stuff. So they can be released to Judea and Samaria if they live in there.
Yeah.
But those who killed, who have blood on their hands, they will be released or to Gaza or to abroad. We don't know which country, probably Qatar, I think, my opinion.
No, I don't think so. Because Qatar, don't forget, just recently, Qatar kicked out all of Hamas. Because of Biden's threat. Excuse me, not Biden's threat. I'll become like Biden in a minute. You can say Hezbollah in a minute instead of Hamas. Because of President-elect Donald Trump's threat, Qatar kicked out Hamas. I don't see no Hamas going to Qatar. I think they'd be going to Turkey. But I'll tell you what.
That may be. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, interesting. Netanyahu said that until 98 hostages come home, they don't come
All of them, not the first.
Yeah, but did he say the number 98?
He say all of them. He didn't say.
Yeah, because if he said the number 98, that would mean something.
He said the last of the hostages. That's what he said, exactly. People like me and you will understand the last of the hostages. All of them, right?
Yeah, but I know that Netanyahu knows that Hamas does not have 98 hostages.
Even now, the 33 that are going to be released, Hamas said some of them will be just bodies, unfortunately. Yeah. They don't say exactly how many alive and how many are not. But the living one will be released first. And then in the end of these 42 days, the bodies will be released.
Does that mean they have no more live ones at all?
No, they just.
By the way, 2 of the people that's in this 33 list are 2 that were being held hostage, which people completely forget to talk about this whole time, have been held hostage for over 10 years in Gaza. Yes. Way before the 7th of October. 8.5 years before the 7th of October, they had them hostage.
Yes.
People like to forget about that.
Yes. Also, some of them American citizens, and unfortunately, we already know that some of them are dead.
Yeah.
I think it's 7, and out of 7, 4, I think.
Yeah, well, Islam is a death cult. If you watch them, anytime one of their own dies in the line of duty, if you want to call it that, in terrorist attacks, or especially if they can kill any of us, they celebrate death just like we celebrate life. You can see it. Next time you see them, they pass out candies to kids, literally like a birthday party. Like we celebrate birthday parties and celebrating life, that's how they celebrate death.
Yes.
They're out in the streets literally passing out candy and celebrating the death of just death. They love death.
Exactly. All this, or you see this 9, 10 years old with the rifle shooting in the air. And with the Hamas ribbons here on the the foreheads. What's really interesting, we didn't talk about it, but it's interesting to mention that. Did you notice that Egypt is silent, even though, as I understand, the whole deal, our hostages will be released through Philadelphia to Egypt and then go back to Israel. That's how they're going to be released. And also there's talking about the terrorists will be released the same way, probably. Still not sure.
Yeah.
So Egypt have a big role here, and they're quiet.
Yeah, and let's not forget, we just reported about it last week, if you didn't catch it. Egypt has been arming the Sinai to the teeth, getting ready for something that no one else is talking about.
Yeah.
Israel, no one else in the world is talking about a war, because it's definitely the defenses towards Israel.
Yes.
So
interesting, yes.
So that's also something else no one's talking about going on in Egypt.
Yes. Well, you want to talk about the Houthis?
Well, I tell you what, just emotional roller coaster of the hostages coming home, not coming home, dead, alive. What the families are going to have to, and the nation, but mainly the families of the hostages are going to have to go through when they realize the ones that are alive come home and what they've been through. The ones that were dead come home, what they've been through, and the ones that aren't coming home in this deal yet, what they're still going through. So, I mean, and all that and everything else, we still have the rest of the issues that's going on. Just the other day, we was driving home with the kids, and we saw a ballistic. We were pulling up to our house. I mean, this doesn't happen. Think about this happening in your house. And we saw a ballistic missile flying overhead, right over our house.
Looks like a comet, right?
Yeah, because big.
And then I think the same night or the night after, we had this shrapnel from the ballistic in your area.
The next morning we had another ballistic missile attack.
From Yemen, yeah.
And exactly. And it fell in pieces.
It landed in
the
here.
Fragments landed around in the houses around us. So we're still having all those issues.
Yeah. Although it's important to say that just today I heard the statement from the Houthis that they say, okay, there's a peace agreement, ceasefire, so we don't have issues right now with Israelis anymore.
I tell you what, Yemen ought to be careful about, and that's if we wrap everything up. I don't think we're anywhere near wrapping everything up. Just don't get this ceasefire with Hamas and the ceasefire with the actual Hezbollah, not the one Biden was talking about. But, these ceasefires we've been having lately, don't get them mixed up with the end of the war, because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the war. You'll wait. Just wait. And And so what I'm saying is Yemen better watch out, because when when this thing does get all wrapped up with Gaza and then Hezbollah and however it pans out with Iran and Syria, we haven't talked about Syria yet either. If we do wrap this all up and Yemen is still out there every once in a while
Picking
at us and making us like a fly in the air, trying to catch her, they'll find themselves in a world of hurt real quick if they let themselves be the only ones left, and Israel has full attention for them. So they better be careful with that.
Yes.
But what about Syria? Syria, we just attacked this week the first time airstrike against the new rebel regime.
Which are not rebels anymore. They're actually the
Yes,
government.
now it's the government. The new government.
And
Exactly.
Syria,
Good point.
And Assad.
Very good point.
Assad supporters now are rebels.
Yes.
This is karma, right?
Yeah. Good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
So that's also still going, and Israel is still in Syria and still in Lebanon, and stated we're staying there until we see everything works out.
But we see more and more voices from the new government coming out and saying that Israel has to withdraw right now. They're not supposed to stay there. We're peaceful. We're good neighbors.
Oh my!
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we attacked by drone or Air Force, I think, one of the aircrafts. We attacked Syrian new government while they were approaching weapons on the border with Israel.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly what happened. We know there have been 3 killed, but yeah, that's what happened. This is the first time we actually attacked directly the rebels, which are now the government.
Yeah. Well, this Sunday we'll know if this. Basically, to be honest with you, the only way you're going to know whether this deal really is on Sunday, if we see 3 hostages come home. And like Ola said, it's not, and if that happens, it doesn't mean it's good deal forever, because it could change at any moment and during the time while it's going on. So who knows? So pray for these hostages to come home.
Please do. Yes.
We need as many hostages as possible. I'm not one of those people who wants to send hostages back into Gaza and say only when they all come out, bring them out. I don't know what that's all about, but there's a lot of people talking like that lately. We take any human soul that wants to, that Hamas is willing to let us take home, we'll take in the meantime.
I'll tell you what I think those people what really they feel when they say that. They don't say send them back to Gaza.
But that's what they're saying.
They're saying, sorry, what they just have a big fear of whoever left behind will stay behind forever, because we know people, who think knows that Hamas will never release all the hostages.
Of course. So why leave more there? Why give them more?
But they think differently. They think let's get them out right now when we still have more cards in our hands to negotiate, instead of giving them cards and then we don't have anything to negotiate for.
Okay.
So that's what they feel, I think.
Right. But, we'll keep up. We'll know day by day. Keep up with us in the TGR Telegram. See what's going on, or whatever way you get your news. And this really is an amazing thing we're doing here with the Golden Report Ministry, feeding the people during all of this hatred they're feeling and receiving from around the world. And you guys are really blessing them. So thank you guys so much.
Yes.
You got anything you want to close with?
Yes, I wanted to ask you to pray, like you said, please pray for the hostages. But not only that, we have kind of service that your father started, that we actually do prayer requests. We put them in the Western Wall. We praying over them and putting them in the Western Wall. I think this is the best time to actually do even more of them, right?
Okay.
You can leave prayer requests on our website. Go to thegoldenreport.com and go to the prayer requests section.
Fill them out, and we put them in the walls.
This week probably we'll just go and put them in the wall, and we'll just pray for them. Yes.
So thank God for all you guys. God bless you all. Don't forget to join us next time on thegoldenreport.com.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye-bye.